All right, everybody. We're just logging on here for our live chat. Andrew Destin with Jason Mackey here in Chicago, coming to you guys after Paul Skenes, MLB start number 2. I know people are trickling in, so we give you guys a little bit of time. But Jason, real quickly, just thoughts on what we just watched. It's not like Skenes pitched well or anything, right?
Oh, buddy. That was something. I'm racking my brain, and I still have nothing. Anybody here in the comment section care to weigh in? I don't know if I've ever seen a better pitching performance.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious, Andrew. I mean, that's probably hyperbole in the moment, that sort of thing. But at least live, I'm not sure I have. I mean, it just absolutely incredible. Some of the numbers here blew me away. 12 pitches, 100 miles or more, 7 strikeouts to start the game. I'm trying to decode my chicken scratch now. Retired the first 13 before giving up a walk. Mind blowing. I mean, it's so darn good, man. It's tough to sort of articulate or put it into perspective. The Pirates right now have Jared Jones and Paul Skenes atop their rotation.
It's pretty good.
That doesn't stink.
No.
If Mitch Keller is your number 3, Bailey Falter's been pretty good. Martin Perez might have been signed to be their number 5. Like, there's so much frustration and stuff going around about the Pirates, but you let them have their moment, right? They've got Jared Jones and Paul Skenes. That's really good.
Yeah, and we saw over a 2-day stretch where Jared didn't necessarily have his best stuff, but still produced a quality start.
Two starts in a row, yeah.
2 starts in a row, doesn't have his best stuff. Skenes, we see what it looks like when he, quite literally has his best stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought Derek Shelton put it in really good perspective post-game talking with us, and a few others mentioning how those first 3 innings in particular were maybe some of the best that he's ever seen and that anybody's seen. And I tend to agree. I mean, 7 in a row to lead it off. Guys not even being able to make contact until the second inning. Was it 6 whiffs and 6 swings in the first inning?
Yeah.
Nobody was even fouling one back. I mean, it was just
they didn't make contact until the 10th swing.
Yeah,
they didn't put a ball in play for 38 minutes. That's insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, who is this? CL just chimed in. Skenes can be better.
Yeah.
Which, while true, really, come on.
I guess you just need a perfect game. Well, yeah, something like that.
But it got to be more pitch efficient. That was the problem.
Well, problem is on 2-2 to Bush, he threw a fastball that was a strike that got called a ball. That's Paul Skenes' fault. No thoughts?
I mean, it's absurd, but I understand what you're saying. I understand that he used 100 pitches to get through 6 innings. Clearly, you want to get outs quicker, but now's not the time. I'm not going to sit here and, I mean, that's crazy. That's absolute craziness. And I mean, I like so much what's happening here. The way Skenes handles himself, the way he's, I think, I don't want to say inspiring because that's probably too strong of a word, but the way he's impacting his teammates, the way he's sort of changing the vibe, this is what a baseball team should be, right? Like, you were in Milwaukee, they were not good for a large part of it. That last game, I would venture to say they're terrible. Vibes are down. They're very upset. Come to Chicago, fans, unrest, this, that, and the other. 2 days later, after Jones and Paul Skenes, is the narrative around the Pirates not a lot different right now?
Yeah. And it's just
saying.
Yeah, and here's a point I'll bring up is, you and I have both written these kinds of stories. You're certainly many of them when Paul first got drafted by the Pirates, is that this shouldn't be a shocker, right? Like the trickle-down effect, that this is what we were kind of told about the kind of influence he can have on a clubhouse. He did as much at LSU, did as much at Air Force, a guy who holds people accountable. And again, he's just a 21-year-old rookie. You don't want to put too much in terms of expectations on him, but we're seeing that trickle-down effect impacting things like the offense, the mood around the clubhouse, things of that nature. And I don't think that's an accident.
Well, age doesn't mean as much to me as major league production.
Yes.
If Skenes is going out there every day and doing this, I don't care. I don't care how old he is. Like, you command respect. Now, right now, he's 2 starts in. As good as you are, you still have to. The best I ever heard was this is actually a Carmen Majinski quote. I'll give him credit for this. He said, "Burn off the rookie rust or dust or something like that. You got to burn off the rookie stuff," which is fine. Skenes is doing that really quickly.
Yeah,
you keep doing this, there's not going to be much in a couple weeks.
Yeah, no, it's something. But guys who are coming in, feel free to keep the questions coming.
Just get to them. Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's take a look at the first one here. Which one do you want to start with here? Take a look at.
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah,
let's do that.
I'm sure I've missed a few.
Skenes was unbelievable. He needs a team around him. All right. Oh, this is the same person. CL. I mean, they need to play better. They certainly do. But I mean, I look at what happened today, and is this a get right game for some guys? Like Rowdy Tellez has really struggled, and that first ball just plops in there for a single. I mean, oftentimes that's what you need. Andrew McCutcheon's had some horrible puck luck, and he gets one out. Triolo, 2 hits, home run. Yasmani Grandal, 2 hits, 3 ribs. Like the bottom of the order producing. I think there's a better team around Skenes and Jones than what they've shown. How much better, I don't know. And it's nice to see this stuff happening without them having to make significant changes. Although, like I've still said, and I stand by it, like I don't think the approach is the best thing for them, but they seem to be adjusting the approach as well, swinging earlier in counts. So that works.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same with that today again. I mean, I know you wrote as much after the game on Thursday, but same today against Kyle Hendricks. I forget exactly. It might have just been one walk or no walks. I forget exactly what the figure there was, but Hendricks, he's a guy who pitches to contact, and the Pirates got 11 hits against him. So that speaks to, it's not just a one-size-fits-all game plan. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to be malleable, and worked these 2 games, or at least worked well enough the first, and certainly worked today. But
malleable, I like that. Yeah. That would be a Shelton word.
Yeah, I'll bring it up to him. Well, you will. You'll at least you'll track it.
I was going to give him crap today after the game. He called Skenes' splinker a splitter, and I was like, "What? You can't say splinker? You scared of it or something?" But I didn't. I decided to let that go. All right, what else we got? Ron Heichel. I'm sorry if I'm killing your name, Ron. Buccos looked to have turned a corner. Looks like lately? Is that what he's trying to say there?
Yeah.
They finally banned Stan like a statue approach, and the rotation is a darn good one. Worry about the bullpen. The talent is showing up. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. The approach has been more aggressive. It hasn't been perfect. They need to continue going that way. I'd like them swinging earlier in counts. What do you think about the rotation? What do you think about the bullpen?
Yeah, rotation, I'm certainly a lot more optimistic than I am about the bullpen these days. Yeah. In May, it's kind of been a struggle for the bullpen. I think the ERA collectively is over 5, and we saw Carmen Mlodzinski make his season debut. Not a whole lot of good there, at least from what we witnessed. There's a reason he was in AAA, right, to start the year, and with the injury, but didn't have great results there. Guys like Josh Fleming have been DFA'd, same with Roansy Contreras. It's a different group than they started the year with. So there's a lot to take away from there. The bullpen, I certainly feel less optimistic than I do about the starting rotation. But to the bullpen's credit, I'll give them points for the game on Thursday where David Bednar had his probably clean of a save as we've seen from him in a while. Holderman, a little erratic, but still got through it. So bullpen, it's a mixed bag. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't love the bullpen situation at present. I was encouraged by Aroldis Chapman. Was encouraged by David Bednar, but I look at Carmen Mlodzinski today. You probably want more. They've gotten more. Ryder Ryan, you DFA, or was it DFA Fleming?
Yeah.
Send Fleming out. Hunter Stratton's been good. I don't love that part of it. Maybe it gets better. And Colin Holderman, by and large, has been very good.
Yeah.
I really like their starting rotation. I was talking with somebody about this before the game. Just I think a lot of us were wrong. I was wrong. I didn't see Bailey falter. I saw Jared Jones, challenging for a job. I saw him pitching up here this season, but I think a lot of you watching, Andrew, maybe you agree with this. Like, I didn't see him coming up here at the beginning of the year and doing this.
No,
I didn't, and I saw Skenes coming up here and eventually being this. Like, that I think we were going to have like Batman and Robin atop the rotation right now with those 2 guys. No, but I love it.
Yeah,
I really love it. Like the 2 of them being, next door in the clubhouse, like at least I should say in Wrigley, that's kind of what I'm thinking of. They're just like, they're good friends, they're good personalities, good kids. I love the intensity with which they pitch. Like, they're guys, sometimes you have people that you cover them and they're like jerks all the time. And those 2 aren't that way at all. But they get in the clubhouse and total, great personality, but they get on the mound and whatever switch flips. And I love that.
Yeah, it's a bulldog mentality with both of them, and man, it's funny you bring that up though with Jones, because to your point of us being wrong about different things with the rotation, I was certainly wrong about Jones in one capacity that I want to bring up and get your thoughts on. Is that this is a guy that the narrative on him, at least a little bit, was he needs to develop a third pitch, that he needs to be better than just fastball slider. He certainly has the change, he has the curveball, he can work them, but he is more than getting by with being reliant on the fastball and the slider. And those two pitches are pretty darn good, aren't they?
They really are. I keep waiting for, somebody to jump on the slider, somebody to jump on the fastball, and like it hasn't happened. The past two starts are evidence. I'm really impressed by Jones, and I don't know, maybe I talked about this on the podcast or something. What it doesn't matter. Some of the most productive, I'm searching for a word here and I can't find it, fulfilling starts or things you do. Like, you don't have your best stuff, but you can go out there and give your team a chance to win the game. And that's what Jared Jones has done. And for whatever reason, they aren't able to pick up the slider, pick up the fastball. I still think, and he's used the curveball a little bit, used the changeup a little bit. There's another level for him to get to. Absolutely. I know that's insane to think about right now, or it feels insane to say, but there's absolutely another level.
Yeah, he's 22. There's still plenty of time for development, says the 24-year-old saying as much. But
hey, here's the 40-year-old saying, man, I feel so old. I'm looking at somebody that way being young. It's not far. It feels like not long ago that I was that young, but it was that long ago. All right.
You want to get into some Gonzales chat here?
I got asked about that a lot in the chat today.
Yeah.
I see we're getting it now. What do you think? Is he doing enough for you?
Certainly for me. I mean, the argument that I had made when he first got called up was that Jared Triolo, and this was obviously when we thought Brian Hayes was still going to be playing every day, was that Triolo should move into a utility role, just given how versatile of a defender he is, and because that role has been occupied by Alika Williams, and I think Triolo can do a better job of it. Maybe that's too simplistic of a way of looking at it, but I think the swing changes that Gonzales has made, we're seeing them play. We're seeing him hit for extra base power.
Yeah, I'm not taking Gonzales out of the lineup right now, Andrew.
Nope.
I'm just not. I like where he's at. I like the power. When we saw Nick Gonzales during previous stints, I feel like there was way more swing and miss, not just strikeouts, just swing and miss. That's not showing up right now. Mm-hmm. He's putting the bat on the ball. He's having good situational at bats. He's driving the ball. He's just consistently giving them really good at bats. So I don't know where this goes. I got asked about this a bunch, like I said earlier. I want to see. I know that there's nobody at second base right now that I would rather have there than Nick Gonzales. And if you want to rotate around or something, you feel a need to get somebody else in the lineup, I'm fine with him bouncing to short or third. But I want him in my lineup pretty much every day, just to see what happens. He might be an everyday player. Who knows? I want to find out. And it's good to see Triolo getting on the board here. I mean, somebody at the bottom of that lineup is going to figure it out, in my opinion. Rowdy Tellez, Jack Sawinski, or Triolo. Like, those are not three bad major league hitters. I think you'd probably say the odds are that, you'd love to see two of them figure it out. Probably not all three are going to figure it out. One of the three, if all three had good games today, they need more from that spot.
Yeah, and I think it's perfectly repeatable, at least in some spots, like Yaz was talking about today, about how this is still kind of like spring training for him a little bit. Up here, which is kind of an interesting point that I hadn't considered is, hey, this is a guy who missed a lot of spring training, got some ABs in Indy, but it wasn't a ton, and we're like 5-6 games into him being up here at this level again. So, Grandal, I think there's a little bit more there in the tank than was let on initially. So.
Agreed. All right, can we frame this a different way? This window's bothering me.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Money. Yeah, we'll switch. Yeah, we'll switch there.
Let's go. We're gonna swing around. I don't know if that's bothering anybody else, but
we're good.
I'll have to lean India a little bit. That's all right. Let's get some more questions. What else we got?
Let's see. We got here. Agree that Jack Sawinski needs a recharge or reset down in Indy, or just a change of organization.
That would be organization for the English speaking crowd, or for the Americans here.
Oh, man, you always get me from that one.
You always say organization.
I don't know if it's a West Coast thing, a Canadian thing. I don't know where I picked it up from, but it always catches flag for me.
I love it.
Sawinski, we saw a little bit better today. Obviously, Thursday's game with the Golden Sombrero, not so great from him. But yeah, did you see anything today that gives you confidence about keeping him up here a little bit longer? Does he need to go to Indy? What do you think?
I mean, I guess he had a couple hits. He had better at bats. He actually made contact with the ball. I like Jack a lot, and I think there's a really good hitter in there. After last night's game, he looked absolutely lost, and I wouldn't begrudge them one bit for sending him to Indianapolis. They're probably going to ride this out, I would imagine, through the end of this series and see if they can find anything. So I don't know if what I would do or what I think matters. I'd probably send him down. I don't know if I saw enough to change my opinion there today. Again, that also feels futile because I don't think they're going to. And I also think I would do that not because, I hate Jack Sawinski. I think he's terrible. I think he's the worst player ever. I almost look at it like from a parent's perspective, like how do I get the most out of this player? And I don't think I'm going to get the most out of him right now. Like I think I'd probably want to send him down, get the pressure off, go a different direction. Maybe give Ji-Won Bae a look. Honestly, I want to see what's there. He's been producing a lot, but I'm trying to think about long term. How do I get the most out of Jack Sawinski? Because I do think he's an important part of this team, and I don't know if I see that happening up here right now.
Yeah, I don't, and I think another point there too is just what they have in the outfield is a little bit of a conundrum, just in the sense that you've got a number of guys who can play out there, and if you want to keep riding Rowdy Tellez, okay, you got to spread bats around for Connor Joe, for Brian Reynolds, for Edward Olivares, for Michael A. Taylor. Like right now, they're divvying up a lot of reps, and it's working to the sense that they're getting guys in the lineup on a frequent basis. But it's I mean, I view it as just, I love the defense that Taylor provides in center. Jack defensively is not quite there for him relative to Taylor. So if we're, evaluating based off just things like defensive runs saved, overall WAR, Jack certainly lagged behind a little bit in that regard.
Yeah.
And I would like to see Taylor get some runway there. And I wouldn't mind to see Bae up here, just given how well he's hit in AAA.
I think, Andrew, they have to make a decision here. You can either get Rowdy right or you can get Jack right. I don't know if you can get both right. And here's what I mean by that. Yeah. And this actually reverts back to Connor Joe. 868 OPS for Connor Joe. How do you keep that out of the lineup? I don't think you can. And if you're going to play him all the time, you go down the list, you spent $4 million on Michael A. Taylor, you're probably going to play him. Edward Olivares, when he has played, has produced. You're obviously not taking Brian Reynolds out of the lineup. How do you juggle all that stuff and keep Jack a part of things? Because again, like if you play Rowdy, the domino effect is you got to play Connor Joe somewhere. She's probably going to go in the outfield. I just think you got to kind of make your choice there. At this point, I look at Rowdy's contract situation. I don't know if I'm giving up just yet. Like I was mentally sort of committed to how does he perform on this road trip? If they come back and there's nothing there, I think you probably DFA and just say, we need the roster spot. We need the flexibility. But, him getting a couple hits, like I'd probably play him tomorrow. I'd probably play him Sunday. And I want to see where it goes. But I don't know if you can keep allocating at bats to him and Jack.
Yeah, it's tough. And especially just given the way that they want to manipulate matchups, right? Where you got Shota going tomorrow for the Cubs, right? A lefty.
Yeah.
You go JMO on Sunday, a righty. It's like if they're going to manipulate this the way that they want to and the way that they like to, that makes things very difficult considering they're both lefties. I think this test,
they probably both sit tomorrow, right?
Exactly. So
it's like in that, I think I'd still play Rowdy because I want to see. I just want to see if there's anything there. But
sure. But in that case, it's like, if you're starting Rowdy, then it probably means that you're not starting Jack. So it's like you're doing the guys a little bit of a disservice, in my opinion, at least, of if you're trying to find them at bats, it's a little bit difficult considering it's a little bit redundancy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got
looking at other questions here. What do you think of this one here? Looking at, do you think the Pirates stay near 500? Will they try to pick up a bat by the trade deadline? It's May. I know it's early, but given the roster composition, what do you think about them adding on another hitter, adding on another guy who can either play the outfield, play the infield, something like that?
I mean, I don't want to turn away good labor. If they're not scoring enough runs and they have an opportunity to add somebody, I feel like we don't know though. And not to dance around the question here, but if they're going to be in contention, the way for them to get in contention is for them to hit more.
Yes.
So how do we know who's hitting to put them into contention? Like you can ask the question now on May 17th or whatever the heck day it is. It's May 17th. And I just don't know if we can really look at it and get an informed answer. Like, if they need a bat, if they're in contention, if like that's the weak spot, sure, I can say I'd like to see them at it. And I think that would make sense for them to do it. I just don't know where it would be.
Yeah.
What about you?
Only spot I would look at would be, I think they can find a way into contention with first base still being somewhat of a hole. And I say that just in the sense that catcher, what they're going to get there from Grandal, I'm optimistic about those returns. And I think what you're seeing now at second base with Gonzales, and if it's not Gonzales, if it's Triolo or you can try Peguero at some point. Like, you have options there that I don't think you need to go external, at least in the middle infield. But at first base, I feel like that's, and this is redundant, right? Or not redundant, but this is a recurring issue for the Pirates, right? Of going out and getting a first baseman like they did with Carlos Santana and G-Man Choi last year, going out and getting guys like Daniel Vogelbach in prior seasons. Like, this isn't a new problem, but if the problem continues, that would be one spot that I could say, okay, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you designate for assignment Rowdy Tellez at some point in June. If you were to go that route, then you probably need to complement Connor Joe with a left-handed bat. Probably. And I don't, there's nobody.
Well, I mean, theoretically,
what
if he's got an 868 OPS? Just play him.
Then he's your everyday first baseman.
Shelty, come on. Shelty over here. It's a sick guy. I'm just kidding. Like, I do understand where Derek Shelton's coming from. I'm not defending it, but I mean, they hunt matchups a lot. Sometimes they hunt matchups too much.
Right. To a point that it's almost, you're taking your hottest hitter out of the lineup.
Yeah.
But they haven't done that this year. But
they haven't done that in at least like 3 days.
Oh, man.
What else we got?
Taking a look at questions. I don't know if there's anything that we haven't totally hit on here.
All right. Well, I got one.
Yeah, what you got?
It's your first time at Wrigley, man.
Oh, yeah? This is fun. This is real cool, especially the day game.
Yep.
I totally get it.
What do you think? You get it?
I get it because I grew up going to tons and tons of Giants games where day games were the priority there because of, as you know, going to games there, the fog, the cold. We did not go to many night games as kids. So
really?
No.
Is it just freezing and miserable?
Yeah. I mean, you throw on the North Face jacket. You don't want to do that. So this to me was like kind of nostalgic in a lot of ways, reminded me of my childhood, but also, I mean, the passion for it, the history, walking around this place, the ivy, everything about it. It's cool, and I can't recommend enough to everybody. And, for Pirates fans especially, this is an NL Central opponent. There's so many opportunities to get out here that I can't recommend it enough. This is pretty darn cool.
I was saying that too on my podcast, but and this is going to be, I leave to go home tomorrow. Andrew will stay for the whole series. I just came in for these two. I'll have a little bit of pregame time tomorrow. But I was going to say, this is going to be one of the only times I've come to Chicago, covered games at Wrigley Field, left without hearing "Go Cubs Go."
Wow.
I'm not complaining. It's been good. It's been a fun couple of days, but I'm glad you got to see it, man. It was cool for me walking in and seeing you like kind of take it all in. But yeah, any Pirates fan, if you're a baseball fan, you gotta check this place out.
Yeah. Next up on the bucket list is Fenway if I can get out there. But yeah,
I don't know if I love it. It doesn't give me these same vibes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing better than a summer afternoon in Chicago at Wrigley. Really, and then I want like a night game at Busch Stadium. So
yeah, well, maybe you'll be out there in June with me. We'll see.
I might try to finagle that one. Yeah. All right. If Jones is Batman, Skenes is Superman. That's good. I like that. William Colwell. Not necessarily a question, but Vegas TJG. I remember only being able to watch day games at Wrigley. Okay, talked about that a little bit. Drew Cagle saw Jones pitch in AAA in person last year. Still didn't see this level of dominance coming. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I've seen, like I said that earlier, I've seen Jones pitch a bunch. I've gotten to know him. I'm very impressed by the kid. Still didn't see this. And it's just, it's an aspect of this that I think we lose sight of sometimes. He's allowed to get better. He's allowed to get better in a hurry. Connor Joe's allowed to get better. And we've seen that with those guys.
Yeah. I mean, with Jones, you look at, not just make it strictly about stats, but you look at what he did in the minors. It was a lot of, the velocity was always there. The fastball life was always there, but the execution, the location was not quite there to the level that we've seen at the big league level. I mean, this is the best, at least in my opinion, in terms of his ability to locate the fastball. It's the best we've seen it from him when he's been in the Pirates organization. And that's rare, right? Like, that's not common for guys to get to this level and all of a sudden throwing fastballs over the heart of the plate. Yeah, they're going away from that to being able to pinpoint, to throw on the black. And it's rare. I don't know exactly what into it. I know Jones will tell as much that, it's just hard work and all those sorts of things, but it's been impressive to watch because I think it's been a huge key to his success.
Cool.
Anything
else? I think pretty good debriefing here.
Yeah. Paul Skenes was fun to watch, huh?
He was.
Yeah.
Yep. I think he might have a future with this thing.
Something like that. Well, maybe we'll check back in with you guys the next time Skenes starts. But in the meantime, I'm Andrew Destin. He's Jason Mackey. Pleasure chatting with you guys. We'll catch you guys all again next time and keep up with our content on post-gazette.com for all things Pirates. Thanks, everybody. Catch you next time.